Hello everybody and welcome back to Animal Crossing City Folk! Today we're gonna do some stuff and this will hopefully be a decent length episode. I say hopefully because I don't know exactly what all we're gonna actually do today, but I'm gonna try and do some fishing. Get some new fish and such. Hopefully we'll get some new ones. Hopefully we'll replace that one I gave away. Still can't get over the fact I did that. I mean, we don't really have much else to actually do today, so, you know. We may as well try. Catch this tiny fish. This is an angelfish. There's a tailor. Pretty sure we've already caught one of those before. And donated it, so. I'm not actually even sure what all I'm going to talk about today while we're doing fishing, because usually I like talking about just some random topic. I kind of want to start doing topics that you guys could actually respond to, because that would be pretty nice. Just getting some sort of conversation going, aside from, you know, just random comments. I suppose mostly just simply based on the fact that I've been on a TCG kick again. If any of you watching feel like commenting about this, how about, you know, what was your first/favorite TCG? That'd be trading card game. That's stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone. There's a lot of them. Part of the reason why I've been getting back into a kick of TCGs, this is something I'll talk about more on my end, is I've actually, throughout my entire childhood, I've been slowly developing a card game. It's taken many, many iterations, but I want to make a card game. And I'm literally to the point now where I'm trying to figure out the power curve that I want. Like, the best example I can give is, any of you who play Hearthstone, you know that a 0 or 1 cost creature, well, 0 will be a 1/1 for 0. It'll never really have an effect. 1 cost will usually have 1/1 and an effect like, say, stealth. Or I suppose the stealth is a 2/1 stealth. But that's actually, in my opinion, above the power curve. The baseline is probably 1/1 effect, depending on the effect. And a 10 cost, that's on average a 10/10 vanilla. Just 10/10, no effect. That is generally how a power curve works. You can basically map where everything would fall onto that. The thing with Hearthstone is that, you know, that 10/10 for 10 is never played because, you know, an 8/8 for 9 with an effect is better. You know. You really don't want to be playing that 10/10 for 10. That has no effect. 10/10 for 10 with an effect, yeah, you'll play that. Which is something I'm going to strive to have with my game. I don't want to ever really have cards that people actively avoid playing because they're so far away from where the power curve is. Or something of a weaker power is just a better card. I also, if, you know, once I can get it going, if I could ever get it going, I'm going to have basically a living ban list where things just get added and removed as necessary. So unlike the TCG for, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh!, I mean, the OCG has things pretty under control, kind of. Their meta seems a lot more diverse. I don't know, I don't look into it as much. But, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh!, there's cards that probably should be banned that just aren't. Like, my philosophy when it comes to a TCG is there should never be a meta deck. or a small handful of meta decks. Now, if you have, like, you know, like, say, 40 archetypes to a game, and 30 of them are actively played in the meta, well, that just gives you work to do. Because now you need to figure out why those other 10 aren't being played, and make them playable. Like, that's what you should be doing as the creator of the TCG. I mean, that's what the creator of an MMO would do. That's what any game developer would do. You know, you don't just keep flinging out more archetypes because, well, these ones didn't work. No, rework them. Make them work. Or just don't release an archetype that wouldn't work. You know roughly what's going to work before you release anything. Like, once again, I know I use Yu-Gi-Oh! As an example a lot, but I play Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot. Imagine if, like, tomorrow, Konami released a tribute-based archetype. That's gonna fail, because no one plays tribute monsters. Unless they give it a lot of unique floodgates that basically hinder special summoning. Like, that's the only way it would see play. Because nobody normal summons. That, you know, it's that sort of thing. They know what's going to work and what isn't going to work before they release it. One of the more recent archetypes released, it's honestly at this moment just a little too inconsistent to actually be usable, and that is the For Hire archetype. It's not quite meta, it's definitely rogue. It could potentially beat the meta decks, but it's just not quite consistent enough in its current state to stand up to the meta decks. So what Konami should do is, instead of continuing to print support for the meta decks, stop. They're already meta. They don't need more assistance. And then print some, say, For Hire support. Or even go way back, print some gimmick puppet support to make them usable in Link format. Like, they were barely usable in Master Rule 3. They're definitely not going to be useful in Master Rule 4. They just don't have that many ways of spamming the field with monsters, and that's what Master Rule 4 has turned into. Or they could just do the blanket fix to most of their issues and just limit the number of special summons you can make per turn. Like, that would fix all of the problems right there. Well, it wouldn't fix all of them, but it would fix a lot of them. Ban the hand traps, limit the number of special summons. Player base would revolt. They would undoubtedly revolt. Like, I can't deny that. It would probably be a very dumb move for Konami's pocketbooks. But it would make Yu-Gi-Oh! A much healthier game. And, like, another example I could give is, like, say, if in my card game, I do have plans of implementing a system similar to special summoning. But you're gonna be limited to 2 a turn. Where's my watering can? That on, darn it. Like, they're going to be special. You're not going to be able to just spam a bunch of them. They're going to be special, as the name suggests. You know. Only, I am probably going to actually do it like my card game's resources a lot like how Yu-Gi-Oh! Does theirs. Of anything below a certain ranking can just be played once per turn onto the field. And anything higher requires you to tribute away these smaller things. Only I probably wouldn't be able to use the word tribute. I'd have to find some other word. Because copyrights are a thing. But, like, you know, that sort of system, in my opinion, is one of the best for a TCG. Like, Magic the Gathering system, it works. Don't get me wrong, if it didn't work, that game wouldn't still be running. Even though the Wizards of the Coast might be stabbing themselves in the thigh. That's not how that analogy works, but you know, that's how I'm using it. And Mott is just stalking people now. I think he's stalking me more than anything. But, like, their system isn't the best, and it's purely because of how they handled it in printings. Like, the example I could use is currently, from looking at ban lists, things like the card Tundra are not banned. The card Tundra is like $400, but it is not banned. It gives you white and blue mana. One each. Well, one of whatever you want between white or blue. Yet there's also cards that do that same thing, but have usually a stipulation of enters the field tapped or something like that. Tundra does not. It is effectively just a basic land that can provide 2 colors of land. Well, 2 colors of mana. I don't think I need to explain why that's good. Like... I'm just doing this sorting up myself. Alright, there we go. Like, that's mostly just an issue with how they printed things. Like, if they had never printed those cards, they wouldn't have an issue now. But basically, by having printed those cards seemingly only once, they've now made a massively high demand for them because the cards aren't banned and they're just factually better dual lands. Nope, Mott wants something. I watered his feet. Alright, Dumbbell. Are you ready for a super hardcore question? If all that was left in this world was Coco, me, and you, and let's say Coco had slate flooring, who would you choose, me or Coco, Cheeseball? Coco? Ouch! You setting new lame speed records? How could you go for the slate flooring? So me and my butter nothing but chopped pasta salad, you know? I don't much care for you, Mott. That's why. I'm not going after her flooring. I'm just avoiding you. Especially if there was only the 3 of us left in the world. Come on, Mott. Think logically here. I should clean off the beach. That way we can get some scallops again. Like, okay, back with like how TCG resources work. I honestly think part of the reason why I think the Yu-Gi-Oh! One is just kind of the best is because it opens your deck to be more about fully deck building. Like, well, let's once again pick on Magic the Gathering a bit. Let's say you're building a Magic the Gathering deck. You work out this really consistent 60-card deck. Well, now you've got to add at least 15 or so lands to it so you can actually play, which hurts the consistency of your deck. Meanwhile, you get Yu-Gi-Oh!, which you work out this really consistent 40-card deck, and you can just go play it, because it's really consistent. Like, you don't have to worry about having to work around being forced to use certain cards. And I mean, you can't really get around having mana in Magic. You need it to play. I mean, I'm sure there's probably enough zero-cost cards. You could probably build an entire deck of them. But I honestly get the feeling that would be a pretty pathetic deck. Especially where, from what I've seen, a lot of zero-cost cards also have extra costs on them to actually use the card. So, you know. That's a thing. Unless it's something like an ornithopter. But even then, that's a 0-2 flyer. You can't do anything with it. It's just a flying defender, basically. I mean, it's... You just can't build a consistent deck. It's kind of the same as, like... Even with, like, Pokemon, you still need to include energies. You can really minimize the number of energies you need, and I actually have a deck that uses, I think, 6 energies in total. But that's still 6 energies that, well, let's face it, the deck would be more consistent if it didn't need. But then you get things like Hearthstone and Yu-Gi-Oh!, where neither of them have resources you have to include in the deck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Just doesn't have resources, and Hearthstone's resources build over time, which you can influence. I mean, you can influence your resource gain by usually Druid playing things to give them an empty mana crystal. Or 2 empty mana crystals. You know. I got a boot. Yeah, I know the game I'm working on is going to be in development for many, 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 many more years to come. I have other games I want to build first, but I've been back slowly working on my card game. Because I just like card games. I always have. Like, my favorite part of, like, Final Fantasy IX was playing the card game. Like, I love card games. But I think I'm going to end this episode off here, because it's been about 17 minutes, and I need to still edit tonight, and it's like 4:26. So, with that, I thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time for more Animal Crossing City Folk. See you all then.